At the famous medicineless hospital, the Lift You Up exercise took center stage, facilitating healing and transformation to tens of thousands of patients. Our guest today, Britta Stalling, explains the main principles of the exercise and how to apply it in daily lives. My name is Thorsten Lüdecke, and this is the Wisdom Qigong podcast.
Our guest today, Britta Stalling, will host the upcoming online course, Life Changer Presents Ancient Wisdom Zhineng Qigong Level 1. If this is of interest to you, please find the link in the show notes.
Today we have Britta Stalling on the show. Britta is very well known in the community because I think 12 years ago she co-founded the Huyuan Qi therapy program together with Master Guantong Liu, where they teach therapists in the West how to apply the techniques of the first medicineless hospital, the famous Huaxia Center. But today, Britta, we have a slightly different topic. We thought we start with talking about what is commonly known as level 1 of Zhineng Qigong. Now, what is this mysterious level 1?
Yeah, thank you very much, Thorsten, first of all, for inviting me to have this talk today, which I believe will be very meaningful for our listeners to explore maybe new opportunities for their health and well-being. And those who are practicing already, I hope I can inspire them to keep up the practice and get some new motivation based on the information we're going to share. So some of the listeners might know already about the medicineless hospital in China, which was established and developed by Dr. Ming. Others might hear it for the first time. So what, as a foundation to understand why level 1 is so important and really a groundbreaking method for all of us to practice, is that in this medicineless hospital, which Dr. Ming founded, this was like the foundation practice. Each person who came there, no matter what kind of health challenge, would first of all be now a student. So they stopped calling people patients, although Dr. Ming was a doctor or is a doctor trained in Western and Chinese medicine himself. And he had a doctor's team on site. But people became students and they were learning the Lift You Up or Down method as one of the core method which they would practice each day, sometimes even a couple of hours. For us in the West, if we learn it, we can practice it within 30 minutes. It's a fundamental basic method based on meditative movements, combining visualizations and let's say having a powerful health intention is the first step. And then the practice itself is very soft, even gentle, soft movements, which then would activate the self-healing abilities of the body quite substantially. And people in this medicineless hospital had high chances of regaining their health as much as we do now in the West, since I think over 20 years, we also have the possibility to actually learn it, practice it, and benefit from it.
So when we talk about level 1, we are talking about the Lift You Up or Down method. Are we talking about anything else, or is it just this method?
So that's a very good question, because with Zhineng Qigong level 1, we also mean the La Qi practice. La Qi practice is more basic, the very simple practice, and the Lift You Up or Down method is actually embracing La Qi and following La Qi throughout this 20 to 30 minutes method. If you practice shorter time, you can also practice like 1 hour, no problem. And we have the Qi squats as also level 1 practice. And then we have the 3 centers merge, which is bridging the different levels of Zhineng Qigong science, level 1, level 2, level 3. Always, if you want to, move forward or let's develop yourself further, you can then practice really the 3 centers merge as a great method as well. Having said that, maybe to clarify for the listeners who are new to Zhineng Qigong, level 1, level 2, level 3 is not meant in a hierarchical order, but it's meant to point to different purposes of the practice. So an experienced Zhineng Qigong practitioner would continue to practice level 1, even already practicing level 2, level 3, that's available in the West, or the Zhineng Qigong masters also who have even more levels they practice with, they do practice level 1 still.
Now, why would you think that Dr. Pang emphasizes level 1 in the Medicineless Hospital? Why does he work with that level and not with the exercises? What makes these exercises so powerful?
Again, a great question. So, because I've been thinking about that myself quite a lot. And I think being a Zhineng Qigong practitioner for a while now, based on my experience and observation, Dr. Pang, Ming, and also the teaching I received from different Zhineng Qigong masters, it seems like Dr. Pang Ming, being trained in Western and Chinese medicine, having his own doctor's practice in Beijing, but also trained as a Qigong practitioner since childhood, being trained by over 30 different Qigong masters and also grandmasters, because they found out about his potential very early in his life. So he was always like supported in developing his own consciousness. So, but now he worked as a doctor in Beijing with his doctor's practice, and he got, and the rest we would maybe say frustrated. He probably didn't get frustrated, but he saw the limitations of Western and Chinese medicine, and people coming to him seeking for help. He could not really help everybody. And he also, at that time, Qigong was passed on very traditionally. So actually selected students would be able to learn it, or if you had the calling to learn it, you really need to apply and be maybe a student of a master for 3 years, not learning anything, but let's say cleaning the garden or the house. So that this stories we might have all heard. And Dr. Pang Ming in that time really thought about breaking these old traditions and really making Qigong more available, because he saw the healing potential. And on the other hand, a lot of traditional methods were a bit more complicated, and you needed, let's say, the master also to practice with you or teach you deeply. So the progress also would be slower. So what can we do now if somebody has a strong health issue, health challenge? What can be done if that person doesn't have a lot of time? So apparently I heard that it took him 2 years to develop the Lift Chi Up, Hold Chi Down method, and brought in all his Western medicine knowledge, Eastern medicine, traditional Chinese medicine knowledge, his knowledge about different Qigong philosophies, his knowledge about Taoism, Buddhism, and really found a method which his intention was to create a method which can be easy to practice, but highly effective, which can be practiced. You learn it, then you practice by yourself, still would be highly effective. It should be, let's say, enjoyable, because it's easy. You experience already transformation very fast, actually. So then you're more motivated to continue your practice, and it can help people who are not, trained over years or really studied the whole, let's say, Qigong science behind it, because literally people can heal from it, never ever reading a book about Zhineng Qigong science, but still benefit profoundly. So I think this was his motivation, and that is he mastered the skill actually to then develop this practice. Literally, if you only practice level 1, Zhineng Qigong level 1, you can reach a high state of awareness, a high state of living all your potential, really following a life you love, plus either regaining your health, or if you're healthy, and that was my motivation to start with Zhineng Qigong, I wanted to prevent illness based on a family experience as a young girl. And so, also preventing illness and really, be in a good state of health and well-being, no matter the life circumstances. And he fulfilled this intention, Mm.
Now, you mentioned the word transformation. You said the exercise can transform your life or your state of health. What do you mean by this exactly, and how would that work?
So transformation, first of all, is really a powerful journey human beings can follow to fulfillment and also living their full potential. Um, because if we're allowing change and adapting and being flexible to what's happening in our life and really embrace it, coming from a state of acceptance, then we can really foster like a journey of growth, living more of our potential, evolving into, let's say, authentic um, being, and really live our full potential. It's a little bit like full potential. It's obviously a word which we need to put meaning to. What does it mean to each individual living my full potential? But transformation, the lift you up, put you down method, when I started to learn and practice it, I was not aware of what this 20, 30 minutes practice actually would offer to me. And the transformation takes place because Dr. Pang Ming has worked on level 1 practices as a practice exchanging our own life force. In general, we would say energy. Obviously, as a Qigong practitioner, we talk about Qi. Our own life force, Qi, is exchanging with the Qi of nature and the universe. And especially level 1 really focuses on this exchange. So literally, we could maybe compare it like if we have a very demanding lifestyle. So now we notice, we are having less energy. It's the same like you have a car and you go on a nice journey and then you use the gasoline. So you need to find a place to tank the gasoline again into your car. So the same with us. We are on a life journey. We are undertaking hopefully great adventures, sometimes also challenges. So then our life force literally starts to get less. Obviously also because of age, because of stress, because of maybe some illness. So we need to just be aware of that. And then just as we would tank the car, we can now tank our own body and fill our body again with Qi because of that exchange. Because we literally say in the Qi, in the universe, and nature is abundant. Nature and the universe always has the ability to refresh and rejuvenate and regrow and re-evolve and regenerate. If nature and the universe has that principle of life, then human beings actually have it as well. But we lost that awareness. And that's why the Zhineng Qigong level 1 really has the power of transformation by practice, but then obviously also getting the awareness so that we are better equipped to adapt to changes, regrow, renew ourselves, regenerate ourselves, living authentically, transform ourselves. And by transforming ourselves, we can then also be a transformation, let's say, lighthouse for others. So that has the ripple effect. Embracing transformation and change. For some people, they really like to have everything like it is, but that is not the law of nature. That's not the law of the universe. The law of the universe is always evolving, regenerating, growing, co-creating. So when we as human beings are resistant to change, then we are also in resistance to our own health, well-being, living our full potential.
We have a way you can discover Qigong. So at the Zhineng Qigong Students Hub, we know that understanding Qigong is very important. And also that Zhineng Qigong in itself has various nuances that people can't easily comprehend. So we've approached it in the style of a video game. On this page, Discover Qigong, you can select your character. So you can either be a beginner, a practitioner, or a holistic healer or self-healer. And you click on your character and it takes you to these different sections. In these sections, you can explore the nuances. And when you click on a card, all of the resources pop up, and we've made it really fun, and not many people know about it. So if you are interested, have a look and discover Qigong.
Okay, that's all very interesting, Britta. So what you're saying is that the core idea of level 1 is to exchange your own life force energy or chi, or however you would like to call that, with nature in order to kind of refill your life force energy. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say. So there's a chi exchange. So on different levels, maybe for those who are new to Qi, maybe they also would like to understand what is it actually, because in the West we often talk about energy. So what are we exchanging actually? If we follow the definition of Qi as Dr. Pang Ming has offered it, we can say that we can define Qi in two ways. One way is that we can look at the source of Qi. And the source of Qi we already talked about. So the source of Qi is the life force of any living being, human beings, animals, plants. So every living being has, next to physical form, also energy substance and information substance as, let's say, the forms of Qi, which I will define in a moment. And nature has the same. The universe has this, is another source for Qi. So we have the definition by source, and we also have the definition by form. So Dr. Pang Ming says Qi, if we only translate it into energy, that's falling short of two very important substances. And so we say that there are three substances which are integrating, harmonizing into one element, which we call Huaxia Qi, the universal Qi. And this is the information substance, the energy substance, and the physical matter. And now physical matter, information, and energy substance also transform. They have actually in Qi and Qigong a motion law of Qi and a transformation law of Qi. And the motion law of Qi, this is something we use in Qi and Qigong. We actually use both, let's say, principles in the Lift Qi Up, Hold Qi Down, or Qi and Qigong level 1 practices. And the motion law of Qi just describes as it says, the motion. So we expanding, we are moving out. Our life force Qi has this ability on all these three levels to really expand and merge, harmonize with nature. With the plants, with the ocean, with the mountains, with the forest, with another object. So in that way, we are always like exchanging into each other, balancing each other, transforming each other. And the transformation law describes the changes of if you now you have a physical matter and you are expanding, moving out, then the physical matter transforms into energy. If then further expansion takes place, then it transforms into information. If information is collected, gathered, and densed up, it forms energy. If energy is then further collected and densed up, it forms physical matter. So this transformation law actually takes place whether we are aware of it or not. If we practice Qi and Qigong level 1 and we say, I don't care about these universal laws, you will still benefit. A lot of us, let's say 20 years ago when I started with Qi and Qigong, we did not have access to this philosophy, to the science behind Qi and Qigong. We actually, literally, most of us only had a CD. There were not even books about it. Still, we would benefit. And we would then explore through our own benefits and growth and evolving the evidence of Qi and Qigong. That's why Dr. Pang always says, the theories are the methods are the theories. You can only practice level 1 and don't read any theory. You would be able to explore the theory because you would be able to, underline the theories by your own practice. If you study the theories, you can also actually understand the practice. So that's pretty powerful. That's why I think more and more people also are opening up to exploring Zhineng Qigong as a way of living their life in a higher quality and in a better way.
So let me just go back to the transformation law here, because you mentioned earlier that it's obvious for everyone. You know, if we look out in nature, things are constantly transforming. They're never just staying the same. There's always a transformation happening. And the level 1 is based on this idea that we can transform our bodies, our health, our mental state, our environment. We can do that. So, but what we are adding, or what Dr. Pang has added, is the level of consciousness here. So in a way, one could say our consciousness helps us to direct the transformation into a certain direction, which could be that of health. And for example, when you spoke about material transforming, so if I had an issue, a bodily issue, say a tumor or something like that, which is often used as an example, this tumor can transform because transformation is happening all the time, but my consciousness is the force that decides which way the transformation is taking. Is that in essence how the level 1 works, and why it's so successful, and why so many healing stories that we hear on this channel here or in our everyday life when we meet Zhineng Qigong practitioners, they're usually based on level 1 exercises. So you don't have to be the most evolved practitioner with level 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever. This level 1 exercise in itself is enough to achieve this transformation and get yourself into a state of health and well-being. Is that right?
Yes. So what I observed, like, let's say 20 years ago, when we did not have so much information about the power of consciousness, that's actually more now in the last couple of years. There are books have been translated by Dr. Pang into English, so we are more exposed to the, let's say, theoretical background. But having said that, people who have a powerful intention, where is this intention coming from? This intention is developed through our true self-awareness, through our, let's say, core of our consciousness. And based on that first new intention, then thoughts and thoughts behind that intention actually guide us then into taking actions. So, but first of all, we need to have a powerful intention and really keep it up and hold it in our heart and really embrace it. And actually the Chinese word yi shi is describing this really beautifully. Yi shi is the name of consciousness in Chinese, and it has different characters. And the first character, yi, is relating to holding up your pure heart intention in the current moment. And that is already there, where maybe some people go like, yes, of course, and others go like, really? Can I really, through my own practice, regain my health, or find my balance, or be more in harmony, or, fulfill my life's intentions, or really follow my dreams, really, just by that practice? And then if you don't have that intention, then it's wobbling, then, you will not really achieve a lot. But if you, as a first step, have this powerful intention, then what we say, the qi follows the mind's awareness and mind's attention and intention. Where the mind goes, the qi follows to flow. That's a very fundamental idea. And we also have some experiments actually who create the evidence that the mind has the power, and then actually the energy of your body would follow. But I would maybe give the listeners just one very simple example of both the self-healing potential of our body and how you can actually, use your consciousness to maybe speed up the process, or you make it complete. One is that if you would cut your finger and you have now a small wound, you would put a plaster on it, don't think about it, and 2-3 hours later, you take the plaster off and it's healed. You look at your skin and you go like, okay, great, it grew together. Nobody is actually questioning this with a little wound. No mom would be worried if her child would come have a little wound. No worries. You would trust that this process is happening. So how come we don't trust our body that it can also heal maybe more substantial issues like a tumor or maybe a bone which is broken? This maybe we can I will tap on it in a moment, but another example where you can find an idea how you use actually your consciousness to master the body's abilities and skills is like you imagine you're on a journey on a highway, and then you didn't take a break for a while, and you find out, oof, the bladder is now mentioning itself and says, look, I would need a break. I need to empty the bladder, but you do not have a bathroom around the corner. You know, maybe you need to drive another 20, 30, 40 kilometers. So what's happening? All of us have this experience. We talk with our body and we say, dear bladder, please wait. You can do it. And the consciousness now really gives instructions and the body follows. Nobody of us is peeing while we are driving. We wait until we have found the next bathroom and then it's fine. And we all have, if we reflect on it, we all have experiences where we use our consciousness consciously to, let's say, manage our body in a certain way. So now we use our consciousness to practice in a way that we really trust and have faith that our body can heal itself, and use the tools of Zhineng Qigong consistently, persistently, diligently. That is really the key. If people really seek for healing, then Dr. Ming, all the Zhineng Qigong masters say 3 to 4 hours diligent training each day is needed. Without a powerful intention, you do not need to practice. But if you really trust you are having this intention, maybe even behind your own intention is an even stronger one, you really reflect on that. And then you practice with joy, ease, relaxed, day by day by day. Nobody knows the time, but I've witnessed a lot of people who have regained their health through this diligent practice.
What I would like to know, Britta, is because you said earlier that quite a few of us are actually in resistance to change and therefore in resistance to transformation. Now, how does one embrace transformation so that it becomes a joy and a source of life joy, so to speak, for people?
That's also a great question. So I think first step is, as always, with anything you'd like to, let's say, overcome, is be aware of it. So really increase your awareness. And the Zhineng Qigong Level 1 practices are a great tool to increase the awareness. Now that we talk about it, when I remember, go back to my first years of practice, the awareness for my own body, for my own emotions, for my own patterns, where I would limit myself, and then being more playful, opening up, to new pathways or to new experiences also, be more confident, be more trusting. All these kind of states would evolve based on the practice, and I became more aware of it. So once you're more aware of it, then if you are in a state where you feel, I don't like change, I really am so resisting it, and the world is in chaos, and my life is in chaos, and my job, always they want to introduce new things, and always new. And people just longing for, let's say, how can you best say that? Stillness. Stillness is also a good longing to go inside, right? But embracing then transformation then has to do with accept it. Accept your state of resistance, but then ask yourself whether this is really the way you like to live your life, or if you are limiting yourself. So one important step of embracing transformation and really some practical steps, for growth and renewal would be foster self-reflection. So really reflect on, okay, the practice now, helps me to understand better who I am, what kind of habits do I have, what kind of beliefs, what kind of intentions or goals, do they serve me, are they limiting me, do I really live relationships the way I want to live them, or do I want to have them more harmonious, and where am I in my way to have harmonious relationships, for example. am I in a profession which really brings me joy, or am I in my own way to create like a profession or a job which is more fulfilling? So it has to do with self-reflection. So when you embrace transformation, you would be also open to start with self-reflection. And another one is that we shift our mindset and see challenges, events as an opportunity to grow, as an opportunity to learn. And this is really what I've learned from the Zhineng Qigong masters I am so blessed to work with. Of course, Master Yuan Tong Liu, who I work with since 2011, but also other masters who have really been a role model of a situation is a situation. We bring in our own, let's say, personality to judge it in a way. But things happening in life, and things happening also in the lives of highly developed Zhineng Qigong masters. But they have learned to not see it as a challenge, but see it as a neutral event happening, drawing then conclusion how to react best to then create the best experiences for everybody involved. This is very high level, human, evolved way of being. And this is actually something I'm also driven to continue to evolve into, actually. Because I notice when you're in that state, you're not depleting your own life force. It's the contrary. You are really still a lighthouse for others, giving energy to others. And obviously, we would like to have that lifestyle where we have 100% batteries filled up, and we are not depleting our own life chi. And should then an event happening needing more of our life chi, we are not depleting our own life chi. We are really in a good state. So practices, mindful practices are then really helpful. Zhineng Qigong is one, but if you say, oh, I'm great in nature, you love walking, hiking in nature or sailing or skiing or whatever, and you really embrace nature, be one with nature and be one with that movement or be in a mindful state, that also obviously helps embracing transformation and change. And the last, but not least, is seek support. Because often when we are in the resistance state, then we might think we are not really often not really in a state where we say easily, oh, I should actually maybe, hire a coach or book a program online or go to a workshop face to face. Often people have, let's say, limiting beliefs that hinder this seeking support. But if you opening up your heart and mind and really seek for people who are maybe in a similar situation, and you start a discussion, and then suddenly you feel already, okay, you feel like your heart is opening and you feel more relaxed. Oh, I'm not the only one. There are other people facing similar challenges. And then you support each other in your growth. That's actually brilliant. And obviously now the offerings are tremendous offerings online. You can, if you want and inspire to practice Zhineng Qigong now, there are so many great teachers worldwide. From our Hunan Chi therapy program, we have certified Hunan Chi therapists who are super well trained by Master Yuan Tong Liu, because he really follows Dr. Pang Ming's teaching, and he has put all the essence of Dr. Pang Ming's teaching in the 2 years education which we offer. So no matter where you're on this planet, you're actually not alone. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. And maybe I finish off with one example of a Zhineng Qigong practitioner who is in my network, which could be very inspiring. He was actually half a year ago exposed to a huge accident. So he was actually approaching the traffic light. He has green light, and from the left, another car crashed him because that person overlooked the traffic light, crashed him completely, so that the car was, how do you say that, total crash. It was useless. They had to, he couldn't drive it anymore. And then the airbags, and in that moment, when this event happening, because he is a Zhineng Qigong practitioner, he is a trainer of mindfulness and resilience. He really, for the last decades, has put a lot of efforts in mastering the skill. And now this event happening, he knew in that moment, he had a very alert, let's say, true self, the true self telling him, Now it's a moment to practice what you teach. And he literally, brought his body in a very relaxed state, accepting that crash, accepting whatever would be the consequences of this crash. And he was unhurt. He did not have one single injury. Unbelievable, actually, because his car was completely crashed. So he then, for a moment, observed what was happening, then got out of the car, took care of the person who caused the car crash. In that moment, another truck came to pick up his car already, because that truck, I don't know the English word, would coincidentally just pass that scene. The police was there within 3-5 minutes, and he had a new car within a month. So everything was like taken care of. So that is also the beauty of, that's maybe a good example of the beauty of when we are in the situation of accepting. We can then open our heart and mind to receiving support from unexpected sources, which we could not ever thought this would be happening. Obviously, this is not like a research example here now, because then maybe listeners could question, what if he would be more in resistance? Doesn't mean he would not be hurt. But I would like to build on live examples which are positive and really just invite maybe listeners also to look into their own life and compare maybe when they've been into resistance and then the consequences of life living. When they have been in a situation of or state of acceptance, open up heart and mind to new opportunities, growth, learning out of the situation, then observe the consequences of their own life decisions and actions which are taking then place. I think all of us can actually, in this own self-reflection, find out that resistance, often the consequences, not so nourishing and positive and helpful, whereas in a situation of acceptance, even if it is a very, very, let's say, how can I say it, challenging situation, often if we are in the acceptance, life is supporting us in a more positive, upright way. We actually call this also having healthy thoughts or unhealthy thoughts. So we actually allow ourselves to be in a state of healthy thoughts, no matter the circumstances, and then the information substance we bring into this situation, the energy can follow the healthy thoughts you're having. We come back actually to a principle we already talked about, where the mind goes, the chi follows to flow. So having upright thoughts, healthy thoughts, no matter the situation, then brings the chi to help us overcome that situation and live our life in a more beautiful, upright, loving, kind, fulfilling way.
Thank you very much, Britta. And I think we've come a long way, shedding a light into level 1, the idea of transformation, how it works exactly, and how to encourage transformation, how to embrace it. I don't want to close before saying that you and Master Huang Tong Liu offer a one program per year, which is focusing on level 1, and it's coming up right now. So for any listeners who would like to join, it's also available as a self-paced training, so people can study it by themselves at home if they prefer that. But just thought I should mention that because it is an important exercise, the level 1, and you don't just explain the exercise there, you also go very deep into understanding what's actually happening. So even for people that know the Lift You Up very well, this can be very enlightening, because the more I understand, obviously the better I can use the tool as well.
Yes, that's really right. We are sharing a lot of details about the practice, also practicing 3 centers merge and the chi squats and la chi. And there are training videos available on our e-learning platform, which can be accessed then. So if you miss a session, no problem. You can then go to the training video, and it's also available after the course, so you can practice with it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Britta. And I look forward to another episode where we will focus on Hunyuan Qi therapy, because obviously that is a field, where you're a total expert in.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and all the best. 好了，
Bye bye and see you soon.
Bye bye. See you. We trust you enjoyed this conversation, and we invite you to subscribe to our podcast so we can stay in touch and notify you of future episodes. We will end today's episode with the 8 verses meditation performed by Zhineng Qigong teacher Katrin Hendricks. Enjoy. To get your free ebook on the 8 verses meditation, please check the show notes below.